Each year, the Washington Library brings in a cohort of scholars that are researching different aspects of early American history. This past year, one of those scholars was Ms. Iris DeRode, a graduate student at University of Paris 8. She's been researching the relationship between the Marquis de Chastellux and George Washington. While many Americans have probably heard the more famous relationship between Washington and the Marquis de Lafayette, Chastellux's relationship with Washington was in many ways even more important than Lafayette's relationship.
The Marquis François de Chastellux is a soldier philosopher of the end of the 18th century. He was a philosopher of the French Enlightenment, and he was also an officer in the French army. And during the American War of Independence, he was the major general under Rochambeau. Not a lot of people know François Jean de Chastellux today, so he's mainly forgotten for several reasons. During the War of Independence, he made important decisions, but he was not Rochambeau and he was not Washington. And so he played a more sort of, background role, let's say, behind the curtains. He organized lots of things, but he didn't make the most important decisions. François Jean de Chastellux was important for the American War of Independence for two reasons. I would say the first is because he was considering and thinking about lots of strategies on how to fight this war. So in the specific Battle of Yorktown, he played quite a big role on the preparation of that battle and especially on the decision if they wanted to go to New York or to Yorktown. The other importance is maybe more in the spread of the ideas of the American War of Independence in France, because when he came back, he started to write a lot about America and he spread a quite positive image of this new nation in France. Chastellux's relationship with George Washington was mainly based on their military relations. They met in September of 1780, and from that moment on they started, of course, to discuss their strategies, but also more about the future of America in general. And so when Chastellux left to France again, they started to correspond in quite a lot of letters, and their relationship began to evolve into a very clear friendship, and they clearly liked each other a lot. Their friendship tells us about both men that they were from the same generation, and they clearly shared the same interests, because they were interested in, of course, the art of war, and at the same time especially in to have peace after the war and how to create a peaceful situation afterwards. They were interested in the progress of humanity in general, so they had similar interests in the enlightened ideas that circulated at their time. Chastellux's archives were never available to scholars, so there were not that many sources available on him. His wife nor his son published his diaries or correspondences, so he just was forgotten by historians.
I think one of the things that's been great about Ms. DeRode spending time with us here at the Washington Library, and by the Washington Library's acquisition of some of the Chastellux letters that are out there, is our ability to disseminate more information and facilitate more research about the Marquis de Chastellux and George Washington and the special relationship that both men had. And that really allows us to understand a richer, fuller narrative about the American Revolution and the relationship between France and the United States.